as we have seen in our last session, we have explored the foundation of governance and technology. However, as we see that technology alone does not transform organization, and we all agree about it. Success depends on leadership, organizational readiness, and the ability to redesign business models responsibly. And we must not stick with one kind of business flow. We must be organizations and governments must be ready to redesign every time and test the architecture again and again. So let's now explore how enterprise leaders can navigate this transformation. Firstly, I would request Mr. Nizar and Ms. Roberta one by one kindly introduce yourself. Over to you, Mr. Nizar. Please introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. Hi,
Alaikum.
hi everybody. Uh, it's very good to be with you today. I am Nizar Al-Turki, CIO, IT Manager in Saudi Arabian National Guard. Thank you.
Ms. Roberta, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Roberta Nichols from Malta. I'm very pleased to be here and thank you for the opportunity to share European views versus, how is UAE working. So my background is auditing first and foremost. I come from the Big Four background, so I've done internal and external audits, which is what we're doing now with AI, finding out how to automate systems, but with the use of AI. However, in most recent years, around 10 years ago, I moved into the business. So I deal more with the company's operations. And in the past 2 years, I've been helping companies automate processes and building tools for them.
Thank you so much, Roberta, for great introduction. And we have eligible team members here into this roundtable. Everyone is bringing great insights from their experience to make the world better in the area of agentic AI and how can we adopt. So, Mr. Nizar, being in digital transformation, as you have seen, that this area has evolved significantly over the past many decades. So, how does agentic AI, according to you, fundamentally change enterprise architecture and organizational transformation compared to previous waves of digital information and innovation? Over to you, Mr. Nizar.
Thank you, Dr. Kiba. The budget web of digital translation focus on
I would like to say, Mr. Nizar, your sound is distorting. Can you please check before, like, once again? Because I am not able to listen to you properly. I hope everyone is having the same.
Yes, there is some background news, Mr. Nisar, that you can probably look into.
hello. The budget web of digital translation focus on developing process automation workflow and connecting system organization become faster and more efficient. But the human still remains at the center of every decision. Agent AI changed the model completely. Instead of simply responding to information, AI agency can understanding business objectives, reason across multiple sources of information, make decisions with information, make decisions with divine government, collaboration with other AI agencies and attacking complex states with minimal human intervention. This integration change introduces architecture. Instead of building organization around application, we are beginning to build them around IA intelligence service and autonomous agents. Intelligent attackers become AI native where data, ADIS governance, cybersecurity, and business processing are designed to be enable both people and AI agency to work together. Organizational transformation also become much deeper. It is no longer just about developing technology. It is about revisiting operating models, designing job roles, and creating a, work, a workforce where human focus on strategy, surveying ethics and investment, while AI handles speed, sales, and retraining decision exciting. The organizations that will be lead the next decade are not just who with the most AI tools, but those that successfully integrated AI governance, trust, and the human capacity into one operating model. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. Nizar. And there is, like as you said, that human factor too. So, what leadership quality would be most critical in the upcoming time for managing AI-powered organizations?
Okay, the most important leadership quality would be the ability to lead with trust. Future leader must combine technology understanding with strong business judgment. They do not need to become AI engineers, but they must understand AI capability, investment, risk, and strategy value. I believe five leadership qualifications will define successful AI-powered organizations. First one, vision connecting AI intelligence directly to business outcomes. Second, adaptively embedding continuous learning as AI evolves replied. Third, effective leadership, including responsible transportation and soft AI development. Fourth, collaboration brings together technology, business, legal, cybersecurity, and people teams. Last one, five, em- environment created culture where human and AI communicate each other rather than compute. And the finally the future belongs to leaders who can build organizations where people and AI intelligence machines create value together. AI will not replace leadership, but it will redefine what great leadership looks like. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nizar, for great insight. And as you mentioned, that there are certain leadership styles which will most prominent except the traditional type of leadership styles which we used to follow before. So, core is empathy, as you have mentioned correctly. Empathy is the core because we are surrounding ourselves uh, towards the agents. So now empathy in a leader will be a unique selling point for all the human beings, and we have to work out on that. And recently, I have launched my book, Ethical AI Leadership. So as we know that responsible AI and ethical AI goes hand in hand, ethical AI is the part how we measure the governance and how we proceed, and the plays a groundwork for any organization towards the practicality or to implement the ethical AI is responsible AI. So thank you so much, Mr. Nizar, for great insight. Now I am moving towards our next round. Our next panelist, Roberta Nicholas. Miss Roberta Nicholas, as you know, many readers are concerned about preparing their workforce for this new era. So, how do you see that an executive can build a culture where employee can see agentic AI as a trusted collaborator rather than a threat? Because just now before Misbah said that trust only lies with the human factor within, but when we are surrounded with agents all around, so where the trust lies and how can it be implemented and accepted? Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. So I am going to see it from the point of view of strategy. I think earlier on, I'm not too sure if Mr. Abdul or Mr. Misbah said, you can't just, you have to involve everyone, not just the engineers. So we need to create an environment where we reassure also the employees. The first thing that a company should do or executives should do is to understand the resistance, because sometimes it is not just the resistance that they don't want an AI. Okay, first of all, they wish the executives should be very honest about the change. Okay, not just tell them, listen, you're not going to lose your job. Which parts of the job will be lost, so on and so forth. And some of the workers are not sometimes showing resistance because they are scared to lose their job, but because, for example, they are not given the right playbooks. So playbooks should not be generic. If we train the employees how to use AI in a diligent way, in a professional way, and in a way that we don't create, like, for example, them to use it as shadow AI, which means they're using their own AI. I can, for example, say an example what happened with JP Morgan. They have built an LLM suite as a governed internal environment and scaled it up to 200,000 users. So if the employees are not scared of AI, we give them rules, opportunity, and training, and also the correct tools with the right governance. I think it should be easier for employees to dive into this new era. Also, I would personally suggest that training, from my experience, I go to clients and I ask them, have you trained the employees? But training needs to be continuous. AI is evolving all the time. So if you implemented a tool or whatever, it is important that the employees train them as a continuous exercise. And I think one thing that is missing in a lot of organization is actually testing them. Myself, my company is an AI first company, and I do train my employees. I do give them playbooks, but then from the questions they ask, I start understanding that they are not reading the playbooks, they are not following the training. So I think with every little training, step by step, that the executives do, and that the company is doing, it should actually make a small assessment. And with this, the company knows at what level their employees are in AI. And they are not so scared because they are being handheld into the new environment. And also, I think that the executives, the companies should also give a little room for the employees in order to challenge a little bit AI. So there should be channels, okay, not challenge everything, of course, where employees could give feedback of the tool and the processes the company has told them to do. I think my last point over this boils down to trust. And that is why at the start I mentioned that any company, any executive should be very clear about what is changing and offer the tools and help for the employees to feel safe.
That's great, Roberta. It is a great enlightening thought because, as I have personally experienced in my own organization, when we are proceeding towards adoption of agentic AI in our business process and our daily work routine, so it is crucial for each and every employee to have the understanding what we are going to adopt, and until unless we can't expect from our employees that they will know everything, although they can have many trainings, but to my mind, based on your company process and your company vision, mission, and objective, you have to train them accordingly to the technology and
Yes.
how can we are going to use that technology for our purpose. And we must have, as you said correctly, we must have different way of accessing assessing their knowledge at every level. We cannot just leave our employees like that saying that they will manage, but every access level must be there to give them the next level of authority to take decision. That's where we will start creating somewhere the trust. So, my next question to you, Roberta, is what leadership strategies encourage innovation while maintaining trust and accountability? Please, over to you.
Okay, thank you. This topic can be very, very fast. This question can be very, very fast. So, first of all, any tool, any agent, the company must assess the level of risk. So, for example, an agent or a setup, whatever, that is helping in the marketing department is not going to be as risky as an agent in the finance department, where we're going to give him the authority to make payments, so on and so forth. So first, we shouldn't not to suppress innovation. Each department or each agent should have the level of risk, okay? Because it's important, for example, for the marketing department to leave creativity as much as possible. Of course, we need to keep with the branding. So we cannot apply, a company, I believe, cannot apply one rule or one level of security for each and every agent. Secondly, there is, I believe as well, this boils down. So there is no specific formula on how much to restrict, because we know that different companies have different risk appetite. So it also depends which company. If someone would ask me, but how much would you let an agent, perform work autonomously? It depends the risk appetite, and of course, it also depends on the regulation. So if it's a high regulated sector that the specific company is operating okay, you want innovation, but the guardrails have to be a little bit higher than a company which is less regulated, all right? Now, for example, what can a company do? So when we need to implement, let's say, a new agent, it can create sandboxes, for example, because, or something that I want to talk about as well is that, of course, we must always leave the human in the loop, because if we let the agent do whatever they want, of course, we want innovation, but then we have to be careful. But I think human in the loop is overrated, because there is human in the loop and human on the loop. And I don't think that human on the loop here is mentioned enough. So I'm going to, maybe we have some listeners, some viewers that don't know the difference. So the human in the loop, the agent literally stops and the human requires approval before completing an action in the specific workflow. Whereas the human on the loop, the system operates autonomously within established boundaries, while humans supervise and intervene when necessary. So this is called sort of, we used to call it report by exception. So in certain areas where we need innovation, it is very, very important that we don't every task there is a human in the loop. Sometimes it would be better for innovation to progress to put this human on the loop. So the human only interferes within certain thresholds. And one important thing that I need to mention as well, we are mentioning perhaps here where the innovation is coming from within the company. But it could also be that the innovation would be by buying a third-party agent, because not all the companies will be using or will be developing their own agent. Actually, they shouldn't do, because if a company is always building their own agents to keep up with technology, it is very difficult if you are not, have all that know-how on AI. So it is also important that the companies do review these third parties, do due diligence, so that then they can. So before innovating, they also have to check what third parties values from reviews, due diligence, so on and so forth. So innovation, I do agree with innovation, but we have to be careful. And also, one important point I want to add here is to control the blast radius. So sometimes when we check, okay, how autonomous this agent can be, it's not only, or how innovative, how much can we allow experimentation. And before allowing this experimentation, one must assess the blast radius. So not only the damage that the agent is creating at the moment, this new agent, this new technology, this new version, because innovation can be the same technology, but in a different version. So that we can assess again how much risk and how much space we can leave innovation to work, because with each version of an agent or of a system, there is always risk attached to it. So there must be a balance between, obviously, innovation and the risks of the company.
Thank you, Roberta, for explaining us so widely that there must be a balance between innovation. Yeah. So, keeping your thought in my words, I would like to give the updates about WLC this month, what we have done into the awareness about AI. We have launched, if you can see here, I will just take out my background. Just give me a second. So I would show you, we have launched a Coder Scouts initiative. This is our first initiative for kids. Coder Scouts help giving free education of AI to all the kids presently in UAE, and our troop moving school to school and giving them free AI education. That is the first thing we have launched for the kids, because we see that kids are the future, and we can't just leave this whole uh, assets without the AI knowledge, without giving them a proper analyzed knowledge. So that's why we initiated this, and that is not only AI coding, but it is ethical AI coding initiative. Along with that, as you know that this is my book, Ethical AI Leadership, I would request all of you to read this. So with all these notes, I would request Abdul Mubin to proceed for our last round of roundtable. Please carry on.